Hey, 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 or hello, hello, hello. My name is Jaleesa. Come on in. Welcome back to Jaleesa Reading Beyond the Book Cover, where we stay reading beyond the book's cover. Today is the first day or first official day of the Buddy Reads with Reading Beyond the Book Cover. We're doing a buddy read now for the Lexington, Alabama series by Mary Monroe. So I'm trying to get more people involved. It's been slow going, but that's all right. I expected this because I'm not reading what everybody else is reading in the sense of the new releases, but that's neither here nor there. This episode is going to be the kickoff for Mrs. Wiggins, chapters 1 through 4. I want to get in the process get in the habit actually, of giving you all like a quick little synopsis when I finish a stack or a group of chapters, and hopefully it'll get you interested in the book and you'll want to pick it up. That's what my hope is. So what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about chapters 1 through 4 and let you know my thoughts so far, and then also ask you for your input. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're in chapters 1 through 4 of Mrs. Wiggins. Now, I've already read all the way up to chapter 26 so far, so I'm a little bit ahead. But I'm refreshing myself by going back and looking to see what it was about in the beginning. And it's quick. The chapters are short. But you get the gist of everything in those 4 chapters, and it's enough for you to keep reading. At least that's how my experience was. So we start off in 1917, and we have Maggie and Hubert Wiggins, and they've just gotten married, okay? If I remember correctly, Maggie is 17, and Hubert is 20 or 21, or maybe he was 19, but he's a little bit older than her. And their marriage is normal from the outside, but it's really a marriage of convenience. And the reason why is because they have these secrets. So Maggie is a child of a town drunk, and she's also, her mother is a former prostitute. Her mother has given her life over to God. You know, she's a changed woman. So, but even though she's a changed woman, you know how people are. They don't feel like you deserve a second chance, and they don't care that you have reinvented yourself, because they don't believe that that is a possibility, that you can reinvent yourself into something better and greater than you were before. So because of that, when people see Maggie, they see her parents, and they treat her in just any old type of way, or they talk to her any kind of way because of how they feel about her parents. I mean, it's a shame that it's like that, but that's how some or most people are. You know, if they know that your family members were racist or whatnot, then of course they're going to treat you like a racist, even though you may not even be racist. So in her case, because her father is the town drunk and he still heavily drinks, and then her mother was a prostitute, but even though now she is, you know, in the church and she's holier than holier than thou, they don't care. So they still treat her any old kind of way. They think that she's the same way. And then Hubert, he is a PK, and PK is an abbreviation for preacher's kid. So his father is an upstanding pastor. His mother is a first lady, and you know, hey, they expect him to be a certain kind of way, but he's not. So he has a secret, and that he's only shared with Maggie. I don't know how he felt like, okay, Maggie is the person to go to, but Maggie and him have a secret. So coincidentally, their friendship is built on this shared secret. So Maggie despises men because she was regularly raped by a family friend, and Hubert is gay. So those are the 2 secrets that they have between the both of them. And because of the location and time period, people would think that something was wrong with both of them for not being married or not having children. So, I mean, and during that time, of course, marriage is important because, you know, we have this thought that man needs to have a woman and vice versa. And it's mostly because of financials. You know, at least back then, you know, you would do better if you had a man in your life. But it's like, is it? That's one of those things where your face kind of screws up a little bit, because it isn't always that way unless you're like very lucky that you got a man that wasn't a dog, but most of the men in this book so far for me have been dogs. But she's getting, how they see it is she's lucky, as far as Maggie is concerned. So at the suggestion of Hubert, they end up in a marriage of convenience. So he's like, I'm gay and you don't like men, or you don't want to be around men because of your past. So why don't we just get married? And so from there, they're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this. I can still have my boyfriends and you don't have to worry about, having to be with a man. And she's like, yeah, this is good. Bet. And, when I read that, I kept thinking to myself, she's so young. Like, how is that going to happen? How does she feel that she shouldn't try to live her life a little bit more than she has? Like, 17 is young, but I have to remember the times. Back in 1917, I feel like you weren't married by the age of 15. Most likely they think something was wrong with you. So it makes sense. And then after they get married, now they're sitting together trying to discuss the next hurdle that they have to get past. Because, 1 + 1 is supposed to equal 3 or more in this case. It doesn't follow the mathematical formula. But in this case, what I mean by 1 + 1 is supposed to equal 3 or more, that means that they're supposed to have a baby pretty soon. So they're thinking to themselves, how are we supposed to have a baby? He's like, I don't want to sleep with you. And she's like, well, I don't want to sleep with you either. And I don't want to sleep with a man, but, I'm willing to take one for the team, and we can go and try, out of town. We can go to some juke joints or some bars, meet somebody's, yes, more than one. We can go and see if we can find somebody that looks like you, so that when I have the baby, it'll resemble both of us, or it'll look like both of us. So after that, that's when the Operation Find Baby Daddy starts, and it kicks off with them going to these juke joints and bars. On top of trying to conceive, you have to remember that Maggie is also getting used to a new lifestyle. Because Hubert, it comes from a pastor's family, or he's a pastor's kid, and he comes from a very religious family. And not only that, but his family is pretty well off in the sense of they have businesses, they make money. He has an uncle that has a mortuary. His father is a pastor, and I'm pretty sure there's other family members that have money as well. So she has basically moved on up, and what comes with that is she has this new standing in society. So she's starting to make these friends, and it's not just friends like, oh, these are new people in my life. These are people that she's grown up with or has been around, and they treat her one way before she got married, and now that she's married to Hubert, all of a sudden it's like, girl, let's be friends. Side eye, that's what I'm giving you. Why? Like, you don't want to talk to me before, but now obviously you want to talk to me. But because of how she grew up, and most likely because she's still young, Maggie has this want to be needed, want to be included, want to be accepted. So she makes friends with this lady named Jessie. And Jessie is like on this fast track of being her best friend. I don't really like Jessie. That's just my opinion. And I know it's like, wait, you most likely don't like her because you read a little bit further. That could be it too. But even when I read this chapter, I do remember thinking to myself, I don't trust Jessie because she asks too many questions, and she's a busybody. She's a run and tell that. Like, as soon as you tell her something, she's going to go and blab her mouth to somebody else. She can't hold water, meaning you can't tell her any secrets at all. And if you did, everybody else is going to know too. So I think that Maggie should watch her back when it comes to these new friends, and just be mindful that you ain't got to be everybody's friend, and be mindful of how those people treated you before you got married, sis. But other than that, and I'm getting a little bit passionate, so I'm going to wrap it up and just have these little questions for you in my little section that I have on my blog called Things That Make Me Go, So these things that makes me go, are just like questions. So will their marriage last? That's a question that I have. Will they find a man to impregnate Maggie? How long will their marriage be believable before someone finds out that it doesn't operate like a traditional marriage? And even more so, should Maggie trust Jessie? Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, with chapters 5 through 7. And it shouldn't be as long as this one. Sorry. It shouldn't be long as this one, but we'll see, depending on how passionate I am about what happened. But so far, it's a really good read. I hope you all join us in the Buddy Read. I have all the links everywhere. Go look, join us, and give me your thoughts as well. Like, do you feel similar to me, or do you feel indifferent? Yeah, I like to hear it. I'd like to know what are your thoughts. Until next time, drink your water, mind the business as yours, and continue reading beyond the book's cover. Bye.